Hi, my name's Kat, and this is Kat's Thread, where I'll be talking about sustainable fashion, sewing, and upcycling. For today's tutorial, I'll be transforming this men's dress shirt that I thrifted for $1 at my local thrift store into this cute puff sleeve flowy dress. This is a relatively easy project, and I've been seeing these styles of dresses a lot and wanted to make one for myself. Let's get right into it. Begin by cutting off the sleeves on each side of the shirt. Cut so that the seam stays on the side of the sleeves. Also, cut off the collar and cut along the top seam to split the top and the bottom of the shirt. I seam ripped the pocket off of the shirt since this will be the back side of the dress. My shirt had a seam across the back, so I cut a straight line along this line, making sure to cut off the edges of the seam and cut along the back as well. Next, I eyeballed a diagonal line from the top edge of the shirt to the bottom of the shirt, trying to maximize as much fabric as possible for a flowy dress shape. I cut along the diagonal, then folded the shirt in half to cut the other side so that it was symmetrical. After that, I put the right sides of each fabric together and pinned along the edges. Here I am putting the right sides together, and now the pins are on, and I'm just going to serge along the edges, or you can also sew with a straight stitch if you don't have a serger. I accidentally made the dress a little too tight on the top, so to give some more space, I changed the shape of the dress to be V-shaped on the back. I folded down the flaps at the top and hemmed around the entire top of the dress with a straight stitch. Now let's move on to the sleeves. Cut along the seam on the sleeve and clean the edges. I also cut off the cuffed part of the sleeve because I didn't want that on my dress. Fold the edge of the sleeve on the shoulder side and sew it down with a straight stitch. Ironing this fold before sewing helps a lot with making it easy to sew. On the other side of the sleeve, do a double folded hem. Make sure the hem is wide enough to fit an elastic through, and sew a straight stitch to secure. Next, I measured 2 inches from the edge of the wide side of the sleeve and marked a line. This is where we'll secure the elastic, so there will be a bit of ruffle around the neckline of the sleeve. For the length of the elastic, it will depend on your shoulder measurement. For the elastic along the shoulder, I used a 12-inch elastic. I only had black elastic, but ideally you want a matching elastic with whatever fabric you're using. I pinned the edges of the elastic on each side and pinned the middle of the elastic on the middle of the fabric and sewed it down with a straight stitch. Unfortunately, I forgot to record sewing it down, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what you should do. On the other side, I used a safety pin on one side of the elastic and threaded it through the hem on the bottom of the sleeve. To connect the 2 ends, I overlapped the elastic and sewed a straight stitch to secure. Finally, I flipped the sleeve inside out and sewed along the open edge to secure it. So now the dress is almost finished. As you can see, I have the body of the dress, and on the sides I have each of the sleeves. So what we're gonna do now, all we have to do is attach the sleeves to the dress. And the way that I'm doing that is where this seam is, we're gonna want to align it with the side seam of the body of the dress and sew about 1 inch on each side of this seam. I hope you enjoyed this thrift flip, and if you try it out, make sure to tag me on Instagram at Kat's Thread. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see me do next, make sure to comment below and like and subscribe. See you soon!